Hey guys, how's it going? Ghostly Rich here today, and we're going to be switching out a dishwasher. It's actually quite simple, but things you're going to want to know is the fact you're going to have to do a little bit of plumbing, a little bit of electrical, and yeah, that's basically it for this project. But let's get started. If you have an old one like so, first thing you're going to want to do, which I like to do, is if you open up your cabinet, you should have some piping that goes over to your dishwasher. There should be a shutoff. So I already flipped my shutoff off. Make sure your shutoff is off. The other thing is, I also have my main water off. If you are looking for your water main, it should be over by your hot water tank. So that's the only other way if you don't have a water shutoff before it starts. Now, if you don't currently have a dishwasher but a spot for it, you'll see it. You'll have to put a T in like so. I won't be doing that today, but if you have a braided line, you can get a braided line T. So you can do connect the braided line there, take the braided line off there, and braided line up. As you can see, I'm also doing a faucet in here, but I haven't done the braid lines yet. So, other than that, you can see this pipe right here. This is to our existing dishwasher. So this is the drainage here, drainage pipe. So that goes up and into our garburator. But yeah, from there, now we need to get the old one out. If you flip this down, we have dishes in here right now, but you're going to see these two brackets up here. We're going to have to pull these two brackets out so that way we can get it out of the cabinet. So first things first, Phillips there and Phillips there. Now another thing is, you are going to have to shut the power off for your dishwasher. You can either do that now or you can do it after you pull it out. I'm going to do mine afterwards because I have a power sniffer that I'm going to put all over the line, which I'll show you afterwards, and it'll tell me to make sure I have the right power because I have gone downstairs before and flipped the wrong relay, and that just sucks. So you don't want to shut off your main house relay, but like I said, from here on, just pull these two screws out and we'll go from there. So as you can see, got those screws out. Now we're slowly working this forwards, and that's what you're going to do. I'm not going to do it with the camera in my hand, but that's what you're going to do. After you get these two out, you'll pull the bottom out a little bit and work the front out and just slowly work it out. If it gets hard, don't rip on it. Check your hose length inside the cabinet and make sure you just watch, just because you don't want to rip on it if the power wire's on the back. So just go slowly with it. If it gets really tough, be very careful, and you might want to hit that breaker, look for that breaker first if you do feel like it tense. Okay? So stay tuned. Alright guys, so from here it's going to be really easy. As you can see, we have power, a drainage line, which is this one, and then this is our actual water line. So, as you can see, there's a Teflon piece in there. Let's see if I can get around. See that Teflon nut? Loosen that up so we can get this pipe out, so we can attach it to the new one. So, just loosen that up. Next thing you do is you go in here, and right on, as you can see, it's on our garburator. You probably might have another one. I'm going to loosen this clamp and I'm going to pull this pipe out. So that one's out of the way. And I can see the one or I might actually just grab it right from the drainage tube. See how it's that white pipe's coming up and there's a C-clamp? I'll be loosening that off and that'll take our drainage off. So that way, and the reason why is if I go over to our new dishwasher really quickly and just show you, they give you a whole new drainage line just in case yours is old and plugged and all that other beautiful stuff. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is, like I said, you're going to want to sniff the power wire. Now I should have, I'll show you that afterwards. First thing you're going to want to do though is go to your breaker panel and see if it actually has one for dishwasher or kitchen, and then I'll show you the sniffer. So I'm going to go flick the breaker and then I'll show you the power sniffer, so stay tuned. So this is a power sniffer. Now the reason why you want this is because that way if you flick one, you actually know you've turned off the dishwasher. There is of course trying to make the dishwasher work, which is another way of seeing if you've cut the power. But with this tool, I've bought it because I do some electrical work around the house, and as you can see, I'm holding this against here and it's not beeping at me like if it was red. Now I'll show you what happens if you do have power. I'll just put it inside the socket here. And actually it might not. There, see? See how it's making that weird noise? That's how you know there's power. If you put it on the line like that, and it's beeping, it means you got power going through the line. As I did over there, I touched it and it didn't. So that's how you know. So stay tuned for the next part. It's going to be pretty thorough from here. All we're going to be doing is running our new stuff for our new dishwasher. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to do when installing the new one is I'm going to just run the drainage pipe. It's going to be pretty easy. And I'm just going to be squeezing it back through here and bringing it back into here and then tying it back on with our hose clamp, which, if you remember, you seen me loosen it last time and pull it off of there. It'll be super easy. Now, another thing is, if you look right here, this is going to be our new inlet, and I'm going to have to go to Home Depot really quickly and grab an elbow because the old dishwasher's elbow was a male to female, and I need a female to female, and it has to be elbow bracket because if you take a look here, that'll just poke the filter, and we need it so it's on a bit of an angle because this doesn't have, it's a rigid pipe. You aren't going to be able to bend it properly, and you don't want it to break, burst, do all that other crap. So if you are doing this job, make sure that you have the elbow piece so you'll be able to do it if you're doing a Maytag. I don't have the model number on me, but yeah. So first off, before I do that, I'm just gonna, like I said, squeeze this back through here and back into the other cabinet like so, and that's what you're gonna do. So do that first. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we got the rubber pipe right here. What I've done is I've fed this tight little plastic tube right into this one, and it's actually fed right up to here, and then did what they did before, just used their old C-clamp, tied it on here, it's holding it, and it goes out right here. As you can see, it was actually quite fun to fish, so have fun with that. And now I'm going to be doing power, and of course, inlet on the water, so stay tuned. So the next part is, let's expose some stuff. You're going to have to flip the Maytag on its back, or whatever washer you have. You might have to flip it on its back, but this Maytag, since it's plastic back, makes it so much easier since our electrical's right here. And what you're going to have to do is quarter turn, remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, quarter turn these tabs with a flat blade, pops out, do the same on this side, pops out, pull this out, ta-da! And the next thing, loosen this Torx screw. Once you loosen the Torx screw, this bends up and out of the way, and look, we have our 3 posts which we need to tie into. You're going to need a moret to connect black to black, white to white, and exposed copper gets tied down onto here as a ground. So that's your next part of this whole thing, and you're going to route it in through this hole right here, tie it all back together. Make sure no copper is exposed on the black and white, because if those touch, then you're going to trip a breaker, and that's never fun. So next thing, tie those together. When you're tying these together, it's easiest with linesman pliers. If you have a set of linesman pliers, just tie them at least 3 twists, put your moret on, twist it 3 to 7 times, and then, like I said, tuck it all back in here. After you've tucked it all in, put the cover back on, put that screw back on, and all we have left is to give this thing water. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so as you can see, our wiring's done, moretted. You can see I have them twisted up so that way it's going to hold it nice and tight. We have our ground under the teeth here, so that way it's going to hold it on and nice and tight, because we don't want our ground coming loose, because that's what actually happened on the old dishwasher. I took a look, I was like, oh, that's probably your problem. So next thing we got to do is put the 2 teeth back in, just like so. I did it there, down, and then I'm just going to put the screw back in there, and now it's time for me to quickly run off to Home Depot and grab the elbow. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so the next thing you're going to want to do is, you can see we have an on-off right there, and I currently have it set off. You're going to hold, as you can see, this is also the fitting mesh, which I'll show you afterwards what I'm doing. But what you're going to have to do is hold your fittings over like this into the sink, and you're going to turn the on-off back on and let it shoot a bunch of water in here. The reason why you want that is so we can clean particles out of the line, just in case there was old crap in there from when it was hooked up to your old dishwasher. But yeah, let it shoot a bunch for probably about 30 seconds to a minute, and after you do that, turn it back off and get it ready for fitting onto there. I'll show you what my whole little contraption I'm building is after I'm finished, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so in our kit it actually came with a couple clamps. All I did is I squeezed the barb drain tube right into here, and then put the clamp on, or well, you put the clamp on, put the barb tube in, and slide the clamp onto it. It's super easy. All you need is a pair of channel locks. All you do is you squeeze right here, and then you can move this clamp, as you can see. See? And then I drop it, and it holds it. So, as you can see, our drain pipe is now hooked up, electrical is now hooked up, and our water. Now what I had to do is, because they didn't make the right fitting, is I picked up a piece of vinyl, or not vinyl, picked up the braided tube you see here, and I picked up the dishwasher kit, a 3/8 to, I believe that's a quarter, and then a quarter to 3/4. So that way I could fit this all together, because none of it matched up properly at the store. They didn't actually just sell an elbow, a garden hose elbow to 3/8, so I just said screw it, and I built this whole contraption that you can see here. So if you run into the same issue with the piping that they've plumbed in for you, that's the only way I can really tell you to do it, I guess. Again, it all depends on the way that you go about doing this. So as you can see, that's the jimmy rig that I've built. Next thing to do is flip this thing back up, and we'll probably try the water out and make sure we've got no leaks before we sink it in, and then I'll show you the bracket part, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so we got the new one in. As you can see, I put the handle on the front now. It was just 2 little Allen key bolts on each side. It slides on, then you tighten the 2 Allen key bolts on the handle, and then it's in. Now there did come some brackets with it, but the problem is the new brackets that came with it, I actually didn't like how they held it. So what I ended up doing is I didn't put the brackets in, and I'm going to be running it through its first cycle and seeing its movement. If there is some movement, then of course I'll add a piece onto the end of this, but to tell you the truth, I think it'll be fine. The other reason why is because you put this insulation in there. I didn't show you that part because I worked it in there already, but all you do is you put the insulation pad that comes with it, make sure you put it around so that way it keeps all that noise inside. So from this point, since we already did our water shoot through, now it's time to go flick on the breaker downstairs. If you haven't yet, you can flick your water on, so it's on completely now. I did all that water stuff first to check for leaks, but if you haven't, when you flick it on, make sure you look underneath and watch your water piping. Make sure that you have absolutely no leaks. That way it isn't dripping on the floor and stuff. I've already checked, but now I'm going to go flick it on, and from here on, put the racks, probably, I might even take the racks right out, but from here, get out all the foam, and run it through a cycle. Don't put any dishes in the first time. I find that if you don't, it's a good thing to just don't run it through. Also, when you go to push it in, level it. How you do that is if you look at these feet, you'll see if one of them's standing up. But what you do is you tighten it so they're all flat on the ground, and then you take a level like so, just one like that, put it on the front, put it on the top, make sure you're level both ways, and from there, yeah, just put it on a cycle. After you put it on a cycle, if everything works good, no funny noises, you're good, and congratulations, you just installed a dishwasher. So thanks again for watching. Press the like button if it helped you out, and of course, press that subscribe button if you want to see some more home renos or car renos that I do. Alright, thanks again for watching. Peace out.